An Israeli strike hit a street in central Gaza on Thursday, where witnesses said a crowd of people was getting bags of flour from a Palestinian police unit that had confiscated the goods from gangs looting aid convoys. Hospital officials said 18 people were killed. The strike was the latest violence surrounding the distribution of food to Gaza's population, which has been thrown into turmoil over the past month. After blocking all food for 2.5 months, Israel has allowed only a trickle of supplies into the territory since mid-May. Efforts by the United Nations to distribute the food have been plagued by armed gangs looting trucks and by crowds of desperate people offloading supplies from convoys. The strike in the central town of Deir al-Balah on Thursday appeared to target members of SAM, a security unit tasked with stopping looters and cracking down on merchants who sell stolen aid at high prices. The unit is part of Gaza's Hamas-led Interior Ministry, but includes members of other factions. Witnesses said the SAM unit was distributing bags of flour and other goods confiscated from looters and corrupt merchants, drawing a crowd when the strike hit. Video of the aftermath showed bodies, several torn, of multiple young men in the street, with blood splattering on the pavement and walls of buildings. The dead included a child and at least 7 Saham members, according to the nearby Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital, where casualties were taken. There was no immediate comment from the Israeli military. Israel has accused the militant Hamas group of stealing aid and using it to prop up its rule in the enclave. Israeli forces have repeatedly struck Gaza's police, considering them a branch of Hamas. An association of Gaza's influential clans and tribes said on Wednesday they have started an independent effort to guard aid convoys to prevent looting. The National Gathering of Palestinian Clans and Tribes said it helped escort a rare shipment of flour that entered northern Gaza that evening. It was unclear, however, if the association had coordinated with the UN or Israeli authorities. The World Food Programme did not immediately respond to requests for comment by Associated Press. We will no longer allow thieves to steal from the convoys for the merchants and force us to buy them for high prices, Abu Ahmad al-Gabawi, a figure involved in the tribal effort, said. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz, in a joint statement on Wednesday, accused Hamas of stealing aid that is entering northern Gaza and called on the Israeli military to plan to prevent it. The National Gathering slammed the statement, saying the accusation of theft was aimed at justifying the Israeli military's aggressive practices. It said aid was fully secured by the tribes, which it said were committed to delivering the supplies to the population. The move by tribes to protect aid convoys brings yet another player into an aid situation that has become fragmented, confused, and violent, even as Gaza's more than 2 million Palestinians struggle to feed their families. Throughout the more than 20-month-old war, the UN led the massive aid operation by humanitarian groups providing food, shelter, medicine, and other goods to Palestinians, even amid the fighting. The UN and other aid groups say that when significant amounts of supplies are allowed into Gaza, looting and theft dwindle. Israel, however, seeks to replace the UN-led system, saying Hamas has been siphoning off large amounts of supplies from it, a claim the UN and other aid groups deny. Israel has backed an American private contractor, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, GHF, which has started distributing food boxes at 4 locations, mainly in the far south of Gaza. For the past month, thousands of Palestinians walk for hours to reach the hubs, moving through Israeli military zones, where witnesses say Israeli troops regularly open fire with heavy barrages to control the crowds. Health officials say hundreds of people have been killed and wounded. The Israeli military says it has only fired warning shots. Israel has continued to allow a smaller number of aid trucks into Gaza for UN distribution. The World Health Organization said on Thursday it had been able to deliver its first medical shipment into Gaza since March 2, with 9 trucks bringing blood, plasma, and other supplies to Nasser Hospital, the biggest hospital still functioning in southern Gaza. In Gaza City, large crowds gathered on Thursday at an aid distribution point to receive bags of flour from the convoy that arrived the previous evening, according to photos taken by a cameraman collaborating with Associated Press. Hiba Khalil, a mother of 7, said she cannot afford looted aid that is sold in markets for astronomical prices, and was relieved to get flour for the first time in months. We've waited for months without having flour or eating much, and our children would always cry, she said. Another woman, Allah Mekdad, said she hoped more convoys would make it through after struggling to deal with looters. The gangs used to take our shares and the shares of our children who slept hungry and thirsty, she said. Separately, Israeli strikes overnight and early on Thursday killed at least 28 people across Gaza, according to the territory's health ministry. More than 20 dead arrived at Gaza City's Shifa hospital, while the bodies of 8 others were taken to Nasser Hospital in the south,